All right, so guys, when I go 3, 2, then 1 means you're live.
Are we live right now?
Yes, you're live.
I didn't hear that.
We're live.
That's
I thought that was a practice live, but it's
good night, everybody.
That was it. That was it.
Okay,
Yeah.
just for the audience, we'll show how seamless this is. Okay, we're going live in 3,
Okay.
2.
Hello.
That was a 1. Hey, we're live.
Let's just do that over and over, and that'll be the show.
You know what? Let's just say we're live, but really, isn't it more important to say we're live?
We're live. We are alive. We are currently right now at this time alive.
Which I feel like at this point, if you are lucky enough, once again, to not be sick, is a huge thing that you're just making it through. Oh my God. I feel like last week I was over it, over it.
Yeah.
But this week was hard.
It just keeps going.
Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, not my best self. I don't even know if I don't know what my best self is.
I'm sorry, you not using this time to refine yourself and become your best self, Ophira?
You know, it's funny you say that. Because last week I did buy some Post-it notes. Because I thought I've heard that people put things on Post-it notes and then up on a wall.
I don't believe
helps
that.
them.
Huh.
And this week I threw out the Post-it notes.
Yeah, like a Post-it note.
Now I'm just wasting resources.
Right. Although Post-it notes can't, they are fun art. You know what? Your kid is just about at the age where ripping apart a Post-it note thing and putting and like drawing on it could be fun.
That's true.
Don't underestimate the glory of office supplies.
The Munchausen thing with the eyes, and that would really scare him for a while.
Go fish him out of the trash.
Fish him out of the trash. So that is the slogan of the week. Okay. One of you is crackling.
I don't think I'm crackling. I don't know. I might be.
I'm going to mute myself.
Am I crackling? Do I crackle? I don't think I'm crackling.
We're just going to be unpro about this. I'll come back and talk to you. It's a movement thing. When one of you is moving, it's like you're doing a deck of cards.
Hold on.
Weird. Okay, I'm not going to move at all.
Well,
you know what? That's fine.
Unless you can see Ophira.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
perfectly still.
Post it. I thought you were.
I don't know if you've noticed this on. By the way, everybody, welcome to Shit Show. But I don't know if you've noticed this on Zoom calls when people are very serious and still for a while. You're like, did they freeze?
Yes. Yeah.
Or is that how they are as a person?
Right. Yeah. That's how they are when no one is around. Just.
It's very. Because a few times I'm like, oh, they froze, and they're like, no, I'm here.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, geez, that's scary. That is frightening. So how has your week been with your child?
It's been, I don't know, it's been kind of a soggy blur this week. You mentioned Post-its, and I do have to say I went to Staples yesterday, 3 days ago. I don't know, time doesn't have meaning. Sure. It was amazing.
Yeah.
There was nobody there. They had everything. They had toilet paper. They had paper towels. They had cleaning supplies. I bought a fuckload of office supplies just because that makes me very happy to do.
Totally. Gonna get it all together.
For Tug, it was glorious. And yes, I was like by myself for 40 minutes in a store. So yeah, I mean, this isn't even being sponsored, and here you go, Staples. There's your free publicity for the month.
I'm gonna double down on the Staples thing because I would say about a month ago, we also were like Staples, and we went there to get some just like paper and art supplies for Lucas, and they had great stuff, bought tons of it, and then we did buy toilet paper. We bought like garbage bags and cleaning supply. I mean, it was amazing. We bought too much stuff. Like we were like, well, we don't have a car.
Right.
How am I getting this home? And everyone the people working there were so nice.
Yeah. Yeah. People are weirdly nice at Staples.
But because
like Trader Joe's office supplies.
Yeah, because usually I feel like they are overrun, and if you want someone's help, you basically you chase them, like you find someone, you're like, oh, there's someone, and then they see you and they just run, and so you're just chasing them as they try to get away. But no, it was dream.
Let me ask you this: are you wearing earrings?
Earrings? Do I wear earrings?
Are you wearing earrings?
They're just studs. Oh, am I crackling?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if it's an earring or a hair thing. This is just a fun thing we like to do at on YouTube. The name of this show is What's That Crackle?
I don't have anything. I'm taking off my headphones.
That might actually be better.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yay!
I ruined my headphones.
Headphone ruiner.
Back to Staples.
Yeah. Oh, bummer.
How is Tug doing?
She's doing okay. She asked if she could not do her bird study work today because she did it yesterday, and quote, "It almost broke me, mama." So bird study is breaking her.
What is bird study? I mean, exactly what it sounds like.
Yes, it is the study of birds. It's, a lot of talk about nests and fledglings, and if they were still in school, they would be going on bird walks, and I think they get chicks, and everybody has a night home with the chicks, which we certainly would have murdered them by accident somehow. So
Yeah,
it's
eat them.
probably best that didn't happen. But yeah, she's been doing bird study. Not a huge fan. She does not like online learning. And yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if they will let her pass second grade if I'm like, you know what, fuck it, don't go. Here's a bunch of workbooks and read as much as you can, and I don't care anymore. Like, I don't know if that's legal.
I think it is. I actually think it is. For second grade.
You're right. Can we get de Blasio on the show and find out for sure?
We got our acceptance to kindergarten, which is only
Nice.
something you say in New York, I believe.
Right.
Our acceptance to
Ooh,
kindergarten. It was our first choice, and by that I mean the public school that is 2 blocks away.
Yay! Good for you. That's awesome.
Like we weren't, as I always say to my son, I was like, you won't get the best, but you won't get the worst. You'll get the mediocre.
Right.
That's what we can provide to you.
Absolutely. That's, and that will both educate him and build character.
That's
so
what they
he'll
say.
be fine.
That's what they say.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
I guess
really,
so.
I really hope he gets to go.
Well, yeah, I was like, will there be society? Actually, someone was like, hey, I want to rebook this show. Can you do July 11th? And I was like,
Yeah.
July 11th, September 9th, October 4th. Let's just throw out dates. Let's just
Right.
say dates.
These are all very theoretical names of time periods
Exactly.
that may or may not happen.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's just say yes. It's
Can I
always
do
been
it?
on the say yes.
Why
side.
couldn't I? I can't think of one compelling reason other than the world not being open.
Oh man. So let's see, there's not too much else to report. My neighbors got a truly stunning like note taped to their door. They live in a 2-flat, but they have access to the backyard, and somebody whose apartment abuts on their backyard wrote them a letter saying that basically that they were endangering the lives of everyone on the street, and that they see them in the backyard with no masks and no social distancing, and that they were going to call the cops. But mind you, this is in a backyard, and they're all the same family.
What?
I feel like this is like, this whole era is like Christmas for scolds. Like,
Who is viewing someone's private backyard? Like, isn't that a problem?
I mean, there's a tall building behind them, and I think you can see into the yard. But yeah, it's like it's quarantine. We are window. I'm not going to try to say that again.
We're window.
We're window. It's We're Window. It's my favorite movie. Please don't let me get stuck like that.
I will admit that. So we got. I can understand it. So I know in Brooklyn. I think there's a lot of. I'm out of Brooklyn right now. So I can imagine that because everyone's on top of each other, they're being like really intense and paranoid and scoldy about the mask and stuff.
Well, I might have said this last show, and if I did, forgive me. But we were in the park with Tug, and she saw some woman yell at a guy who biked by her, too closely, and and it was the kind of thing where it's like, oh, I can see both sides of this. But Tug was like, whoa, that was intense, and I was like, listen, it's a scary time, and scared people are dangerous. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like when you frighten a cat and it scratches you, that's what everybody's like right now. So you just kind of have to be extra careful.
That's very good. That's good parenting right there.
Thank you. That was the last good parenting I did.
Yeah.
That was like a month.
Lucas and I were walking down the street and someone yelled to us, "Nice masks," because he wasn't wearing one. Yeah. You know what? It's really, I'm trying. I try to
Yeah.
put a mask on a 4-year-old.
Mhm.
He doesn't like it.
Yeah. And also like just
I also
don't,
think that they drove by. There was no
yeah,
one on the street anywhere to be found. They drove by and yelled that out their window.
yeah. It's like, what were they planning on getting out of the car and having a face-to-face conversation with your 4-year-old?
I was like, oh, they just do that all the time. That just that now this is their sentence. They're
Yeah.
used to just driving around being like, get off the lawn and blah, like leave town and go back to Mexico. Like they just have a whole
Yeah.
now they feel like that's like
What's on the docket today, Sonny Jim?
exactly. So I did put a mask on him, and then we went to a park because I was like, we're going to the park. There might be some other people, like just a sort of green open space. I said there might be other people, so you have to put on the mask, and he did it. And we were running around. There was just one other person there, and this place is big enough we couldn't even run into them. And then I took the mask off of him when we got home, and it's just covered in snot.
Oh,
Because he is a small child. And now he's basically got like a hanky
yeah.
on his face.
Well, no wonder he doesn't like it, because basically it's like a face diaper he took a shit in.
I mean, usually the amount of times I'm like, don't use your sleeve as a napkin. Don't use your sleeve as a Kleenex. Don't.
Yeah.
Just a thing for his face.
Oh, I hope this is over soon.
I hope it's over too. All right. This just in from our producer. There's something weird about masks. They increase snot.
Oh, weird. Well, that's disgusting. Bummer.
Well, that's too bad. Another not upshot.
Right. Yet another bummer in a season of bummers.
Science indeed. All right, we have 3 amazing guests. Should we bring one of our guests on?
Yes, let's do that.
All right, our first guest, when we do a live show, we have people perform and do stand-up, but in this format, we are talking to them, doing banter, finding out how they're doing, checking in.
Yeah. It's a moment, a wee moment.
And finding out if you're alive.
Yeah.
So our first comic, she's done so many amazing things. She's a writer and illustrator of the blog, The Ugly Volvo, and she's the author of Welcome to the Club, a very funny book that I am so pleased to say I own, read, and think is hilarious, and also has a lot of heart. And she's formerly a writer for Last Week Tonight. Please welcome Raquel D'Apice. I always say that wrong. I'm sorry, Raquel. Did I just screw up your name?
No, you said it really great. I don't know if it was right or not, but it was great.
Okay.
I like to just emphasize every syllable. Raquel D'Apice.
D'Apice. I did say it right. I just get
The real way to say it is more Italian than I could ever really be. So I would sound very silly if you said it like really correctly.
My husband's last name is Pastore, but his grandfather changed it to Pastor.
Mhm.
And then my husband's father went back to Pastore, except he says Pastori instead of Pastore, but then he's got all these cousins and stuff who are pastors. So I don't know.
Everyone's doing their own thing.
America's stupid.
It's exactly what we're all D'Apices, but in Italy it's like I can't even do it. It's like D'Apice.
D'Apice, yeah.
But if you introduced me like that, everyone would think that I was like very, very Italian.
Right.
I just have to say too, so I think you guys are experiencing this where we have no time. We're parents, we have no time. Everybody else is learning how to play piano in another language and redoing their whatever, and we're just getting through our day because we have a child, right? I speak for everyone, and maybe working if we're all lucky enough to work. But I have had all of the insecurities and psychiatric problems of my entire life really get kicked up. Because I think I used to just run around, and therefore I didn't have to deal with them, just running around. And one of the things I noticed, which is what I just did with your name, which I believe has something about, this is partially just being a woman, is that I second guess pretty pretty much every word that comes out of my mouth.
Ophira, I have like a phobia about bringing people up now because I've fucked it up so many times. Like, and as I'm saying someone's name, there's just a klaxon going, not how you say it, not how you say it. And
really just wait every single word all day long in my head. Is that good? That's not good. Anyways.
I mean, I regularly second guess everything I do. That's not a quarantine thing. I've been doing that for years. Like I've got it down.
I think I have.
Way to brag,
now. I just
Raquel.
notice it now that all the noise is quiet, except for loud.
It's like tinnitus. It's like the world gets turned down and you can really hear how fucked up you are.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I feel like I've had the opposite of that just because I have just no time.
You also have 2 children. Tell us your age and gender mix up with the kids.
My age is, I am 39.
I don't care how old
I am a female person. I have created from me and a person that I met on the internet, we've made 2 more people, both genetically male people. One is 7 and one is 3. And it's a lot.
Yeah.
This is the first, like, this is the first night that I've like done an adult thing with other adults because I haven't done that.
Welcome.
It's very nice.
If you want to just sing us some Daniel Tiger instead, that's utterly fair.
Oh, we never watch that because we don't watch things that I can't stand. No offense to them. I know it's a great show.
No, it's not. It's a fucking horrible.
I just
can't. How do you feel about Octonauts?
I love Octonauts.
I know that tune-up. Oh, I love that tune-up.
I'm a big block sing-song person. It's not a show. They just have 2-minute songs and that's it. I could watch them forever. Sometimes I sing them just for fun, even when the kids aren't around.
Bubble Guppies? Like
I hate everything. So it's bad to ask if you're hoping that it's a thing I like. I like older kid shows.
I'm just saying the songs legitimately, as the kids say, slap. And it's the guy
I don't know what that means.
Who actually just died. He wrote all the songs for Bubble Guppies.
Yeah. Bubble Guppies, yeah.
Okay, now I will listen to some of the songs of Bubble
Good.
I didn't know that, and I'm like,
my work here is done.
Yeah. So how much time do you have for yourself during the day?
I have none.
0. Yeah.
I have, and I'm not even doing all the things that I'm supposed to do. I have the 3-year-old who I will stress up front has a teacher that I like very much. I love her when she is a teacher in person, but they have 2 40-minute Zooms a day.
What?
I know. I have participated in none of them.
I feel like that's abuse somehow.
I
Who's
don't
trying to justify what?
I went on to one call, but like I didn't do, she was like, are you ready for the activity? And I was like, oh, we're just here to watch what happens. We're not going to do anything. And then 15 very patient parents, also many of who I love. And in fairness, a lot of the other parents, this is their oldest kid and this is my youngest. 15 parents, they took water from a container and we moved it with a tablespoon into a smaller container to see how many tablespoons it would take. And then they would mute that kid and then the next kid would do it. And it was literally where I was like this is a test. Like this is a test to see if I'll stay here, or then like, this is what hell is. Hell is that the kids just never end and they just keep spooning water from a container into another container.
This is the meanest thing I've ever heard.
She's the loveliest teacher. I hope he somehow gets her again next year. She's terrific. But I think she's just like, well, I have to do something.
Yeah.
So, and I wrote her a letter, which was a lot of very nice words and paragraphs that basically said, I just can't.
Yeah.
And she basically wrote back, that's totally fine. And I was like, great, we love you. The end.
I think they don't care. I mean, not that they don't care. The teachers are doing amazing work. And I can't believe they managed to put together like an entire online curriculum in like 2 minutes. Oh, yeah. But I think everybody's like, we're going to write this off pretty much entirely. But it's like, I feel like the kids are living the reality of the dream I always have, where like I'm in high school again somehow and I've forgotten to take all my classes and it's like 10 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be at school. I feel like that's every day with kids doing online learning. Yeah.
Kind of just you saying that, I just had a memory. I had this randomly, and I'm sorry to even say it because I never want to talk about a dream I had, but really briefly the other night I had a dream that I was back in high school and everything was just great. It was like I woke up at like I wasn't naked. I had like studied for everything. Like I had like nothing was wrong. Like I don't even know what the point of it was.
You
I
would
thought
have a dream.
That
Sometimes
was
they're
full
just a
on.
dream.
Your brain made you take a vacation.
it was amazing. I like wanted to stay there.
There's a whole thing where people are very like. There's obviously I'm suffering from insomnia, but on top of that, the dreams are. People are really talking about how the dreams are more vivid right now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So,
So,
but yeah,
I have to show you this shirt that I'm wearing because this is Kimbra Fowler, who's the voluptuous horror of Karen Black, made this shirt, and it is, you know, her hands framing her vulva, which she has sewn shut. I forgot I was wearing this and talked to my kid's teacher and 3 other children for at least 5 minutes today. So,
how old were the kids?
What?
How old were the kids?
7?
They're fine.
yeah, they
They're
get
fine. They're fine.
If they were like 11, I'd be like, you're gonna be the weird
You
lady.
say it's
7.
wrapped up like a present.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna be able to open that up soon.
Right.
It's a gift. It's a gift. to be
Hopefully
given.
it's just planting a seed that will flourish in some unknown and wonderful way.
Oh yeah, in like 10 years they'll be like, oh, that lady, if they do that. But I mean,
Right.
7-year-olds are pretty. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe he knows everything that's going on, and I'm just an idiot. But I don't.
I
think
don't
so.
know. I don't
And
know.
Raquel, can we talk about the fact that you're not feeling well?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I feel a lot better than I did last weekend. I don't know what it is because I couldn't get tested because I don't have a fever. But
you
yeah.
have a fever.
No, I don't have a fever, so I was not allowed to get. And everyone was like, "Well, you should lie about having a fever," but I don't. I was like, I wasn't in so much pain that I couldn't handle it. It was just very. And the only reason that I thought it might be it is because I lost my sense of smell, which is what a lot of people
Right. So
say.
it's probably, yeah.
I didn't know for sure, and then a friend of mine who had it said, if you have a bag of coffee beans, open a bag of coffee beans and smell it. And I did, and there was nothing. Which was really weird because I've never opened a bag of coffee beans and not like been delighted.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just literally couldn't smell any of it. But at the same time, I've never had a normal cold and tried to smell a bag of coffee beans because
Right.
why would I?
Would
So
you?
that was my like, okay, I definitely lost this. That being said, living in a house with 2 boys that are 7 and 3, I'm
Right.
totally okay with losing my sense of smell.
Right.
It's like the best week. I'm
No
sure
wonder you had that nice dream.
the small one probably peed on the couch. I'm scared for it to fully come back. And I'm gonna like the hellhole that I live in, it's gonna like just fall. I'm like, oh my God, everything smelled like this the whole time.
Let me ask you this. I don't know,
Yeah.
like, where do you think you got this cold?
I think from them because they were both coughing beforehand. But
Where
I
did
don't
they get it?
I don't know because the only place I live in Jersey City.
Yeah.
And I very cautiously have occasionally gone out to get groceries, and that's it. We walk our dog, but we live kind of way in the back where there's no one. We live really near this delightful, like it's a giant warehouse with a parking lot and a railroad track that no one goes near. It's disgusting. And I'm sure they caught like a lot of things there. But I figured since there's not people, probably not coronavirus.
Right.
So I was like, we'll get sick, but not with that. Like you can play in that dirty puddle because it'll be a different bacteria.
Right.
It's a virus. Sorry, it's not a bacteria. So I don't like, they literally go out the door. They'll go in this little back area. The big one will sometimes wear a mask if he wears his ninja costume. The little one I also can't get to wear a
That's
mask.
a good idea.
The ninja costume is
Yeah.
helpful.
Good
They will wear
good,
that.
Good idea. Yep.
Or if you do like a cowboy with the but like aside from that, no, the little ones he won't wear a mask, but there's just no one around back there. But they were definitely coughing several days before I was. I just didn't catch on because they didn't have a fever and they weren't complaining. They were just coughing a lot.
Oh,
So who knows?
I
I
mean, 'cause, I was thinking this is classically just with spring and the weather is up and down and up and down and up and down. This is, if my kid was in school, we would all be sick and he
Yeah.
would be sick. And because we are not, and we're not doing anything, it's just like, even I am like, I've not been taking great care of myself and not sleeping well, but still it's like, you don't get sick
Mhm.
from being cold.
Do you know what I
like,
haven't
it's the
done?
myth. You have to get it.
I haven't combed a louse out of anyone's
I was
hair
thinking
in months.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
about that too. Oh, do you remember social diseases?
Yeah.
Fun
One of the
one.
first things I thought is, oh my God, I feel so bad for anyone who's stuck at home and also has bed bugs.
Oh,
I mean, it's not lice, but it's where I was like, oh my God, those poor people. What if you can't leave your house and that's your house?
My skin has been very dry lately and I've been itching. I'm like, oh my God, what if we have fucking bed bugs? Like we're gonna have to kill ourselves.
Yeah, I don't know what else I would. Yeah.
No, I think at that point you're just like, we just are, we're bed bug people now. We are people of the bed
we
bug.
are of the bed bugs.
This is how we live.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a weird, I mean, I feel better now. You said the dry skin thing. And my friend was like, hey, I just did a foot peel thing and someone gifted me one of those about a year ago.
Oh yeah, those are amazing.
Holy shit. So most of what I've been doing when I'm not trying to homeschool a 7-year-old or try to make a 3-year-old stop crying is peeling the skin off my feet and obviously vacuuming if you've used one of these because
Oh my God,
shit.
disgusting.
I'm just like, I even told my friend, if you had not pitched it as it'll make your feet soft, because that's what she said. So I was like, yeah, whatever. Okay, my feet are fine. And I put it in the medicine cabinet. If you had just said like, it's like putting Elmer's glue on your hands times 1,000.
It's like pulling up. It's like your foot was wrapped in philo pastry.
I really want to do this. That will.
But I never realized.
Oh yeah, it's gratifying. It is so gratifying.
It's. I mean, have a vacuum. Because
you need a vacuum.
Yes.
I mean, I'm looking at my feet right now, and I'm like, oh, there. It's like a sunburn, but it doesn't hurt.
I will admit that it's called baby feet.
Yeah,
that I didn't understand it, and I did it last summer, and I had some just like loafers on with no socks, and it was like 3 days after. And like, I've always been that person. Back when I used to smoke weed or whatever, I was always the person where I was like, I don't know, it's not affecting me, I need more. And then I'd be like, way too hot. Like that is just always me, and I've never learned anything. So the fact that the package says it starts in 5 days, 2 days later is like, well, this is garbage. So I was with loafers on, and I went into Uniqlo on Broadway to buy a pair of cheap pants. And I brought them into the change room, and I took off my loafers and put them on. And then I went to put on my loafers, and I was like, oh, someone, I guess, cut an onion in the change room. Because there's like onion skin all over the place. And I was like, that's my feet.
Oh my God. I need this product immediately.
It's the most, I mean, your feet will also be softer after whatever. If that's your thing, it's fine. It is, I mean, if you need something to do, you're very, like, I'm just stuck watching both of them. And they're both great. This is like, it's torture on days when they're both great.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't complain about them. You're just like, all right, it was just 2 kids who you're like, and one of them who you're asking to do a bunch of things while the other one's allowed to watch Sesame Street. And you're like, well, that doesn't seem fair, but you're different ages. So sorry. They both just have no idea what's
It's just fuck it Friday. Do whatever you want.
By Friday, we're like, all right, all bets are off.
Yeah, we used to be the people that really limited the television. Like I was pretty hardcore about it. I was really hardcore about it. And right now I'm like, this is how Snapchat works.
The one line that we've watched, so because normally we're not allowed to do it during the week, but we definitely watch it during the week. And for the littlest one, he's allowed to watch Frozen only once a day. But it has to be in Spanish, because then I'm like, you'll learn some Spanish.
You're hilarious.
It's great. He says "hace frío" all the time.
In Mandarin. Okay, enjoy. You're gonna learn.
Right.
Theoretically, the older one is in dual language, and his dad speaks Spanish, and I'm trying to speak Spanish. So I'm like, we would ideally like him to learn it. And I was like, well, if you like this song so much, then go ahead.
Learn it in Spanish.
Yeah.
You can, and he does. I mean, he can't speak Spanish at all, but he'll sing Libre Soy, which is, I'm not going to sing it, but you know what it is.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, it's great. And then any daytime TV is like anything educational. And then there's like a cutoff where we're like, all right, now we can watch nighttime TV, which is stuff that's not educational. I didn't buy an iPad at first. I was like, I should buy an iPad, even though I never have. I still haven't, which I'm happy.
Wow, yeah.
I know. It's big. But I mean, even with a good, like the 3-year-old, he'll just play on his own, like with
Right.
the other day he had like a small fishing pole and a magic wand, and he'll just pretend they're talking to each other, and then he'll pretend they're falling off a cliff, and he'll just for like 30 minutes to an hour go like, oh no, oh no. And then the other one will be like, I got you. But even if he does that
Aw.
for 3 hours, which is amazing, there's still like 11 other hours.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, maybe one of them he's eating. So you're like,
Right.
it's not that he's not playing on his own a lot. He
Right.
is. There's
Yeah.
just too much time.
Yeah.
And there's never, even if they're occupied with something, there's never the headspace that you need to like actually get anything like
Slices of
work
time is
done. It's just
torture.
all you can do is garbage stuff like
Yes.
chores or the phone.
I
That's
mean, all writing that was related to anything, like I told a friend, I don't write these. The only thing I've been able to write are parody songs, because I'll be reading something and I'll be like, huh, wouldn't that be? So I wrote I'm not going to do anything with it. I don't sing or play
Right.
an instrument, but I wrote a parody of Fergie's Glamorous called Glabrous, about glabrous skin, which is the type of skin that doesn't have hair follicles.
Oh.
It's great. That's taken me a
Wow.
month.
amazing.
I've done nothing else. I have
Good.
like 3 different projects I have not touched.
I think
can't-
Glabrous is all you need to win quarantine. I think you
I'm
did
pretty
it.
Sure.
It's-
Yeah.
I-
Also, soft learning and fun.
I just have to, I mean, in fairness, I've learned a lot about skin receptors that I didn't know. But yeah, I think I had it where I was like, I did something. Like, look,
Yeah.
I have like a bunch of books that I've like tried to, anything that's remotely serious, I'm like,
Oh,
not now, Carolyn Forche.
Absolutely.
Sorry. I'm sure it
No.
was a great experience. I don't want to read about it now.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Everyone also is like, what great series are you watching? I will tell you that everything is just like intense. I mean, this is basically my fun. And then at 11 p.m., I watch one episode of like Schitt's Creek, like something just totally easy.
Mhm.
Go to bed. And that's it. That's
Oh,
the
totally.
TV I watch. One 20-minute episode of
That's
something.
I've managed
think-
to trick Tug into liking like adult television.
that.
And by trick, I mean make. So
Yeah, it's
Um,
smart.
yeah, she
what
found it
what
out.
adult television?
The Good Place, Blackish.
Oh, nice. That's great.
Let's see, what else has she been watching?
Killing Eve. She likes Killing Eve, right?
Yeah, yeah, I mean that's next. That's next. I don't know. There's I gotta get her onto the subtitle show so that we can start watching the real heavy shit on Netflix.
Or don't get her to subtitle shows so you can watch them and she can be confused,
Exactly.
which is good too.
That or she'll accidentally learn both Hebrew and Arabic. I don't know.
That's a plus.
Yeah.
No, we have to let you go.
No, that's fine. I
We
have to go
let you
collapse
go.
and die in
Yeah.
my bed. Not
Um,
literally die. That's very sorry.
oh.
Now everything I'm like, I'm gonna catch you. I'm always saying like, don't worry, we'll survive it. Now he's like, that's a very tense word.
I
So,
know. The words are fraught.
I know. I'm very on edge all the time. It's great.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you so much.
All the time too.
All right. Feel
All right.
better?
Bye.
Feel better.
Bye.
See you later.
Oh man.
Oh, our next guest has just joined us.
Hello, hello.
Hello, you've seen her
know.
writing recently.
I unmuted you. Hi.
Oh, you muted her. Her writing has been recently featured in McSweeney's and The New Yorker. It's Kate Tellers.
Coming to us live from the Golden Girls kitchen.
I know.
It's
I love the
true.
backgrounds.
Thank you
Yeah.
for being a friend, Kate.
Oh, thank you all for being friends.
I always
Thanks.
love it when people have plants in sitcom kitchens up in corners, like where there's no light. Like that just could not exist.
Yeah.
I never noticed that one. Yeah.
Right. Is it a succulent? Is that why I mean, because you can't, they're very old, frail women. They can't get up that high to water.
No. That's gotta be, well, we both know what it is. Plastic.
Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing is the view that you're seeing is we're walking in the doors from the living room. This isn't,
Right.
so if you look at that corner, did we ever even see that corner as
Never
the
saw that
audience?
corner. You're
No,
right.
this was all character work for the Golden Girls.
Right.
That's what that was.
Are you using a background because it's fun to use a background, or do you not want us to see your house?
Oh no, I'm literally against a white wall. No. I'm using a background because it's fun.
All right.
Yeah, because it's fun. Why
Where are
not?
you hiding?
Literally a white wall.
I mean, people, I put this bag here because it shows that there was something, but when I didn't have that bag here, this room is so odd looking that people were like, that's a weird background. I'm like, no, it's the real.
I'm actually pretty into that 4-poster situation.
Crazy, right?
I feel like you need a canopy on there because that would make the best fort.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah.
I'm just afraid of breaking everything here. How's it going for you, Kate?
This has been a less good week of the many weeks we've been in quarantine, I would say. Yeah, just like a lot of sadness and feeling like this is where we'll be for the rest of our lives. And I'm getting like very, very sad for my kids. You know, that thing of like, I'm realizing that I can't be like, but soon we'll go to the beach because we might not ever go, you know, that kind of a thing. So I'm really, really good at holidays. So we've been like celebrating holidays hard. Like we did Earth Day, a major holiday. I'm going to go to May Day, like anything that I can do that's like a lead up. May 1st, I think.
What is it? What is
yeah.
Well, traditionally you there's a pole and then people do ribbons and they run around it. I think it's a celebration of spring though, but there's crowns.
I think you can go full midsummer this year, I think.
Totally. Yeah.
Fuck it, slaughter a bear.
Yeah, we might. I mean, honestly, that's the place that I'm in. That feels very reasonable. Yeah, totally.
Are you still in New York?
I'm still in New York. I'm still at home. My children have not, I live in Brooklyn. They have not, my son did once this week, left the front door in weeks, like since mid-March, which is crazy. My daughter's, I have a 5-year-old, not 4, your son is 4, 5-year-old son and a 2-year-old daughter. And my daughter won't wear the mask, which is also super sad to think of a 2-year-old in a mask. But so I don't know if I can take her out without it. I mean, unless she can pass for under 2. If she doesn't get carded, maybe we'll be okay.
Right.
I'm surprised though, for like little kids, they should make a hat that has a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a baby Zentai suit.
I'm sure when we all leave this show, we will all have sponsored ads for exactly that. Just FYI.
Yeah.
There are so many. There's the people in the mask business are getting in there fast and furious, and it's not just the Etsy people. Like I've gotten some high tech mask ads, but it's also like, this is where my sadness is. It's so sad to say to your kids, like, not only do you have to wear a mask, which is sinister, but like you have to wear a mask because there's a virus killing everyone around us that I don't want you to get. Like that's the dark place that I'm in. So thank you. Let's laugh together.
Right.
I do think, there is something, I'm going to call it the triumph of the human spirit, that immediately things went from you have to wear a mask to like fashion masks.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't even a moment where it was like, no, it's all this white kind of mask. It was immediately just like comic book characters and crazy designs and people making it out. I mean, I do think that is like, at one side it's crazy. I get ads too. It's like there was a mask company that was using extra material from couture dresses.
Right. Yeah.
For $40 a mask.
You know who I feel bad for is the clothing manufacturers who haven't like sort of pivoted their online stuff to like at least making a nod towards mask selling. I got some ad from a company that was just like, basically saying like, this is a great dress to stay home and bake cookies in, and everybody was like, not cool.
Yeah.
Like you can't use the fact that we can't use the house to sell me a fucking dress.
Kate,
I feel like there has to be an awareness of everything beyond just like, this is an opportunity to bake cookies in an expensive schmata.
Yeah, it's a big time for Old Navy. Do you know, if you've been on the Old Navy website? I'm gonna out myself. I've been to the Old Navy website. I shop there. This is probably Old Navy. But if on the website, they're just like, oh, we can just put our sweats front and center and like, fuck it. We don't have to hire the designers for summer. Like, so all those things are like our comfiest, softest clothes, which is all you buy here anyway,
I feel like I got a thing from Nordstrom that was like, your look. And it was like a sports bra. And like, t-shirt and like joggers.
Yeah.
Wow, that's my look, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I bought a short sleeve sweatshirt. It's
Yeah.
fine.
It's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
So what are you doing to keep sanity, regain sanity?
Well, my husband and I have started panic shopping for glasses. So this is the fruits of anxiety that I have here. I have a collection of frames. He bought a pair of frames that turn blue in the sunlight, like the frames do. They're not transitions, but like he's not I would think like outside of a pandemic, you'd think that we were like your friend that you see at a gallery opening, and now we're just like two people losing their shit in Brooklyn.
Right.
Like outside of the gallery and with two children, you're like, oh, they're on the edge. And he's baking. So we've adopted a sourdough starter, as anyone in my zip code would. And so he's baking. And
I did the sourdough starter.
What's that?
He started the sourdough starter.
No, our baker started the starter, but now the starter is our own starter.
Obtained it.
We obtained it, and it lives in a jar, and he feeds it, and then he bakes bread with it.
Yeah.
And then the other day he had bread in the oven. So he's like, it's like so cliche, the sourdough starter thing, but it's amazing. I mean, we're all benefiting from this. And then I decided to make kale, and I preheated the oven. And so my kale was destroying his sourdough bread.
Oh my
it's too much, Brooklyn.
Oh, it's like it collapsed in on itself, and and you became like a Brooklyn black star.
I know.
The people that are making their own natural yeast because you can't get yeast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like rancid flour and water.
Yeah.
Which is that's essentially what's living on my counter.
Somehow on a counter it seems better.
Listen, I feel like I've committed the first great sin of quarantine. I murdered my sourdough starter. A friend of mine gave me some actually before this happened, and I put it in the fridge, and then I kind of forgot that had happened, and now there's a lot of black water on the top of it.
Oh no.
And yeah, I don't think it's looking good.
Listen,
but I also, not to brag, have several packets of yeast. So
yeah, you better put some bars on your window. All right.
Yeah, I would get.
But honestly, I also I don't know. I go to the grocery store. I'm trying to go like once every week and a half or 2 weeks. But I buy a fuckload of, bread because they do still sell it.
Yeah. I know they still make it, manufacture it.
Yeah, the bread factories continue apace.
And still they rise, right?
Yeah. Kate Tellers.
Well done. Well done. How do you feel? I mean, obviously the little one has no idea what's going on, because how could a small 2-year-old have any idea what's going on?
Well, she sort of does. So the other thing is, so she went to school. She just started going to school. She went 4 times and she's devastated. But now she pulls the shit, like everything that she says, she'll be like, my friends did that at my school. Like any joy, she's always like, but that was from my school. And then she goes, like, no, it's terrible. It's terrible. My son told me that he's really into making robots right now, but here are the 2 robots he wants to make. I want to make a robot friend in case there's another virus. And I want to make a robot that brings in the mail so that we don't bring in the virus. So it's pretty, like, this is great. What's happening here? I'm glad they have each other. They are for the most part, I mean, they're driving, they drive each other crazy, but it actually is kind of good that they have each other,
Well, I mean, I just have one kid, and she was like leaning hard on me for a sibling before this even happened.
Yeah.
And now she is so bereft that she doesn't have anybody to play with, and she's really pissed at me for not having another kid. And like she's campaigning very hard, and it's like I'm like, well, it's certainly not going to happen now. Are you out of your mind? Like,
I don't even know what Lucas weighs on that. I do know a while ago he said he wanted a dog. Yeah. And I said, yeah, we can get a dog at some point, but just so you know, when we get a dog, I will have to take care of that dog. And so I'll have to spend some of the time that is usually for you taking care of that dog. And he went, oh, I don't want a dog.
Yeah.
All right, I think maybe that was the best parenting I've done so far.
Well played, man.
Fritzy's birthday was February 4th, so it wasn't that long ago, and we got him a betta fish, two betta fish, and we killed them. And then we got him 4 goldfish, and slowly, I mean, these are goldfish,
Right.
and then like 2 weeks ago, this is how we are terrible parents. The goldfish, I came out of his bedroom. I was like, I think Fishy the 4th has died, to my husband. And he was like, oh shit. And then we forgot. And then my son went down for a nap, and the floating carcass of his fish was there. And we just like forgotten to, and he came out, he was like, I think Fishy is dead. And I was like, I have to pretend like this is news, even though I've known it for hours.
Oh God.
Yeah. So we gained a starter, but we lost a fish. It's still a very full house.
Truly, I think the starter is the far more useful
you're
living
better
thing
off.
in that
You're better off.
scenario.
Such a pleasure. Thanks, Kate. Thanks for joining us. I mean, that is like the perfect.
Yes.
That is perfect.
Thank you so much, and good luck. And yeah. Those
Thank
words
you.
sound so cruel now.
Oh,
I guess you're not going to a pet store, so it's all gonna be fine.
Yeah.
No, there's no pet store.
Yeah.
Pet store.
The yeast is your pet now.
That's
It
right.
is.
Yeah.
It is my pet.
Feed me. Okay, well, we'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Your new glasses too. They're very glitzy.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye. See you later.
Okay, thank you. All right. Our final guest is an extremely funny comedian. She is the host of the podcast Fake the Nation. She has been on High Maintenance and Wait, Don't Tell Me. Please welcome Negin Farsad.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
How's it going, guys?
Good. Your glasses game also, as always, on point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It didn't occur to me to like buy more frames for the apocalypse, but
We know
here
it's
we
smart,
are.
right?
I did. I
that's
stocked up
lit.
on contacts, but I didn't think about like getting glasses of any kind. And I thought I broke mine the other day, but I realized I just put them on without taking my contacts off.
Double C. I see so well.
Yeah.
The other day I was doing yoga and I didn't have any glasses on, and I I put them to the side and I was doing yoga. And again, I just want to mention that I was doing yoga as a brag. And I fucking went like this, like pushing up my glasses to a face that had no glasses on it.
Oh God, yeah.
So yeah, it's like the phantom thing is always there.
I do that all the time, like just constantly hitting myself in the forehead. And not just for like, God, stupid reasons. Like,
yeah, it's weird to have eyes that just work.
Yeah, all right. My husband is constantly throwing his 20/20 vision into my face.
Yeah. Oh, the
Just
nerve.
wasn't born that way.
The nerve.
I mean, I don't think mine's 20/20. You don't want to drive with me. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
I used to I haven't done this in a long time, California DMV, but where I have my license, whatever, it's the only state I drive in, so it doesn't matter. But I would go to the DMV and be waiting to take the test, and I would just be staring at the letters because I was like so nervous that I was gonna not see them for some reason, even though you take the test with your glasses on anyway. So I would just be there, AZT, memorizing.
I failed.
The idea of test taking makes me so nervous that I'm gonna,
I do find those eye tests like strangely subjective. I'm like,
Listen, one man's A is another man's E.
You're like, I view this as a Rorschach test, not an eye test. Yeah.
I failed the vision part of my driving test when I was 16, and they gave me my license anyway. And I failed it by like a lot. And it wasn't until
How is that possible?
I don't know, they're like, you really need new glasses, get new glasses soon, but we'll let you have your license. I'm like, well, okay. And then I was driving with a friend of mine at night, and he's like, take a left. And I took a left onto what I thought was a street, but was actually somebody's yard. And then, yeah, I was like, I think I have to tell my parents I need new glasses.
When I turned 16, and I got my license and everything, you know, I was a teenager, so I thought I was fucking great at driving. And I was very okay at driving, but where I had the most problems was the very slow driving involved in parking lots. Like I missed whatever those fucking things are at the top of a parking spot. Like how many of those did I go over, guys? A few of those. How many times did I sideswipe a parking garage entry? Like I just had no depth perception for like narrow areas or like curbs. You know,
you're a pure speed lady. You know, you're Dean can't drive 55 or 5.
I do remember it was terrible that I was taking care of my mom and I borrowed her car, and she had a very skinny garage, and I was backing out, go to the gym, like thinking I was just the best daughter of all time. And I was like so involved in how great I was that, you know, again, was just too tight, and not used to it. And I just ripped off the side view mirror.
Nice.
Oh my
God. The garage. And then I remember I was like panicked. So I put the car to drive forward, because I was like, this will reverse time. Like I actually,
yeah.
I was like, oh, just snap back on and we'll be done. Like, anyways.
I also have a parental garage scenario, and I was a full adult by this point. Like I wasn't 16. I was like 26 when I did this. I fucking was like, you know, visiting my parents for Christmas. I had just gone out with my high school friends or something. No drinking. This was like an afternoon coffee or whatever it was. I came on broad daylight, so much light and clarity, and there should have been no issues, but I just overshot what I was doing, and I ran right into the cabinets at the end of the garage.
Oh, wow.
So I did a nice bunch of dents into a series of cabinets. Ladies and gentlemen, in Palm Springs, California, where I grew up and my parents still live, that was, and I felt like I was like in trouble, and I was like, I'm an adult and I'm in trouble. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's how, and I got yelled at. I mean, I was in trouble.
I mean, to be fair, that's a yellable move. I think you kind of yell at anybody that like biffed it.
I mean, I don't know what it's like to be the parent of an adult, but like I feel like at some point, well, I don't know, that's probably ridiculous, but at some point I feel like you get your kids like getting in trouble that way.
Right.
Stops? No, I don't know.
I guess I don't know. I remember when I was 20, I was visiting my parents, and I went out and I stayed out all night, and when I came back they were like, where were you? And I started to make up a lie, and then I'm like, oh, I don't have to tell you. Like, it's none of your fucking business, frankly. And yeah, it's great. Felt good.
Yeah,
yeah. I was out. I was out fooling around with a boy in an abandoned house. Is where I was.
I was just picking up syringes. What?
What I do? It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
So how's it going over there?
So I have a 16-month-old. She just turned 16 months, and
congratulations.
Thank you. And wait, Ophira, how old's your kid?
4 years old.
Okay, so you remember this time, and Emily, your kid's a little bit older, but I mean, we all know toddlers, right?
Right.
They just can't do anything without constant supervision, and
Yeah.
so
Still a 4, same thing.
yeah. Oh, great. So it doesn't end for a while.
No, you can ignore a 7-year-old. Like I seriously, like I have said more times than I'm proud of, like, just get away from me. I don't want to look at you. And she does. So yeah.
I think it's the most exhausted I've ever been in my life.
I hear you.
Does that ring true for anyone?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is the hardest I've ever worked.
Fuck, we're on the road a bunch, right? We're in and out, we're juggling 1,000 schedules in regular life, it's difficult, but I have never felt as tired as I am now. And I have not been on a plane, and I have not juggled 1,000 things. I mean, strangely, here's what I think is interesting too, is that I sort of figured pandemic would start, emails would stop.
Right.
No.
And that hasn't happened at all. I feel like I'm buried in unanswered emails and people wanting things, and I don't know what they are. And, you know, and I could be missing out on 1,000 opportunities, but it's just impossible to do it all,
And
you know, with the
so much
time.
harder. Actually, someone just, oh, I have an echo. Do I have an echo?
You're good now.
Okay. I had a situation where someone was just like, you know, and send me a headshot, and I swear to God, I was like, oh, like it just seems so overwhelming to do.
Yes, totally.
There's no release valve. There's no like point at which, you know, like even if you had, I mean, when Tug was your daughter's age, you know, she was in daycare probably only 15 hours a week, you know, because that's all the room they had for her. But like, it was still that, there was still that, you know?
Yeah. And I think in terms of like childcare, you know, we have a babysitter and a couple of babysitters that sort of make up like 4 business days a week of our lives. And, you know, and I knew on a theoretical level that those women were saving my life. But I didn't really know,
right?
I mean, until this situation. And so, I'm more tired than I've ever been. I also, the other weird thing about this age group is that like, she is too little for a lot of things, you know. You can't, you know, she'll watch an episode of Sesame Street, but she'll kind of get frustrated if there's too many, or, you know, I would love to do some TV parenting. And by the way, I myself was raised by a television.
Yeah.
And I, you know, bless my parents. They worked very hard. Immigrants came here with nothing, blah, 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 that whole story. And they did all right. And here I am. And so I'm like, let's throw this baby in front of a bunch of televisions.
Yeah.
But she's just strangely too little.
Yeah. It's a weird age, because it's like, they can't really lock into a narrative, you know, and it's like, I hear you. And I feel like that, like the age between 1 and 2 was definitely the hardest parenting I did absent a quarantine. And I honestly, I can imagine what it is like, and I am very sorry. Are you still in New York?
Yeah, we're still in New York. I mean, we're actually keep trying to get to California because my parents are there, and my dad's a doctor, my brother's a doctor, and my brother's in San Diego, so very close by. And I thought, oh, they're doctors. Like they're gonna have access to antibody testing, to regular testing. We'll just hop on a plane. We'll get all of the tests when we arrive there. If we need to, you know, stay away for a few days while we wait for results, we can do that, blah, blah, blah. We had all these ideas, these notions that involved lots of testing that I thought, being from a medical family, would that be a problem? But I just want everyone to know, and this is where having connections means nothing. Is that, like, my father, who is literally walking into hospitals and operating on people, does not have access to testing. So there's no being a doctor is not getting you anywhere. Even
they're like, keep your New York City germs in New York City. Thank you.
Right, there is that.
We'll see you if this is ever over.
Right. And I just have to say, like, this is, I think, of all of the people that have to deal with coronavirus, I feel, you know, I feel terrible for people who are immunocompromised and all of that stuff. But I feel really terrible for grandparents, because This is the golden years. They should be able to see their grandkids. That's all they want. That's literally all they ever want. And so to not be able to see them is really, it's like heartbreaking for me every day. And I'm like, here's a FaceTime of her. You know, it's like fucking a sex doll. It'll do the job, but wouldn't it be so much better if the fucking
stunning analogy.
No, strange. I know, but there it is. With the grandparents on the FaceTime.
You know, sorry.
I was just gonna say, I remember when I was, I just had a baby and I was totally freaking out and ill prepared, and I just, I was an idiot. And a friend of mine trying to talk me through it, and she was like, yeah, and there's this, and you'll be doing this and this and this, and walk me through. And she goes, and you know what? When your son is like 2.5, you'll start to get some of your life back. And I was like, 2.5. Punch her in the face. I was like, I want my life back now. I was so impatient and out of my mind. Now of course I understand totally why she said that.
The other thing that I'm really frustrated about.
I did not get my life back. Yes.
No, it just still doesn't happen. The thing that I think is, I sort of had this vision of quarantine a little bit like pregnancy, where your body would function differently because you're quarantining. You know what I mean? When I was pregnant, I didn't really get as many allergies, and I didn't get, and I was able to eat gluten, but my stomach normally, I kind of can't digest that hurts. So I just have to avoid gluten, and carbs, and just I fucking look at a cupcake and I gain 25 pounds. But when I was pregnant, all of those things were just out the window, and my body was just like this other functioning thing, and it was fine. And for some reason I thought quarantine body would be different. Quarantine body, it turns out, is same as regular shitty body. And so, because I keep reading about, you guys were talking about catching the yeast, and all these fucking people with their sourdough starter kits and whatnot. And I am so jealous of all of that, because I'm just I can't really eat anything fun, you know what I mean? I want to drown myself, and I have to, don't get me wrong, but yeah, my body's not letting me do it.
I can't believe my body didn't sort of transform in some sort of these are different and extenuating circumstances. It's I got my period, and I'm like, what? Hey,
so yeah, not only that, I was I was suspecting getting my period. So I was in early March or whatever it was, March, I think it was March 15th. I was I'm just going to go buy a whole bunch of tampons, by the way. So I stocked up, and then my friend was like, yeah, have you tried to buy tampons recently? I was like, no. She's like, they only have Super Plus. So I was like, as a woman who gave birth, that'd be all right.
Buying tampons is the inverse of dudes buying condoms. You're ashamed to buy the big ones.
So much room, shove them all in. It's huge. But it's funny because I had a similar experience up here. I was at some maybe New York comedy club, I don't remember, and I was talking to a comic, and this was just 2 days before everything really shut down. This was when they were doing half capacity, and so the comedy clubs were still open, but they were half the number of people, and this guy was fucking bless his heart, I don't remember his name, was I'm gonna go do this this whole epidemic in Martha's Vineyard. And I was like, Martha's Vineyard? And he was like, yeah, it's an island off the coast of, hey, I know what Martha's Vineyard is, motherfucker. He thought I didn't know. Anyway. And I was like, yeah, fucking say hi to the Obamas for me, whatever. I know what it is.
That tone wasn't, what is that? It was, how dare you?
So I digress. This will come back to Ophira and her plus size tampons in a moment. But so this guy says that to me, and then I was like, why wouldn't you stay in New York? Because you're still going to be able to pick up gigs like here and there, and that'll be nice, you know? And he's like, Negin, there's not going to be gigs this time next week. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. And then I was about to get my period, and I was like, in case Martha's Vineyard is fucking right, let me go to the drugstore and buy. And they still had the nice, I'm regular, guys, I'm regular sized. They still had a nice assortment of regular sized. And so, and I too stocked up just in the off chance that this guy, you know, had a point, and he totally had a point. And I assume he's doing stand up to himself alone in Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
He has a bunch of stuffed animals that he's doing his whole set to.
that he travels with, all the time. We got to wrap this up soon, but before we do, have you embraced? Are you embracing any holidays right now?
Oh, I mean, it's Ramadan, guys. And can I just say a quick thing about Ramadan? Fasting gets all of the hype during Ramadan. And I just want to say, as your Muslim friend, it's about like spirituality and reflection and doing good deeds and charitable work. So that's more about those things. So just like in the spirit of Ramadan, I would, like try and do something good for other people. Oh, I didn't mean to be so cheesy, but like, you know, take a nice Muslim thing and embrace it.
No, I think that's awesome.
That's nice. I like that. I'm trying to think. I have no contact with other people.
I know. We emailed our council person. So, and if you're in New York City, bless the hearts of our council people. You can email their offices. They will totally respond. We signed up for a list of where to volunteer for to give food to elderly seniors. Yeah. And so if you can do that, if you feel like you're healthy enough to do something like that, and you have mask and gloves, that's a great thing to do during Ramadan. And be a nice honorary Muslim. Right. And I also want to mention that before we go, we're streaming my most recent film is called Third Street Blackout, and we put it up for free for the pandemic. Nice. Pandemic freebie. Awesome. And it's a romantic comedy. It's with Janine Garofalo and John Hodgman and Jordan Carlos and Ed Weeks and all these fucking hilarious people. It's set in the blackout after Hurricane Sandy, so it pairs well with a quarantine. And you can go to thirdstreetblackout.com/stream. That's 3RDST. blackout.com/stream, and watch that for free. And then if you want to tip the filmmakers, proceeds are going to go to the Actors Fund.
That is awesome. That's a seriously hot tip. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tip jar for the show?
It's like a PayPal tip link.
Yeah.
Is there a tip jar for this show?
There is a tip jar for this show. We haven't been saying that the whole time. Whoops. Yes, there's a tip jar for this show. It is in the YouTube link. And yeah, that's we so far the issue of what to do with the money hasn't come up because but we will figure out.
It's not an issue. Yeah. Right. We don't deal with that. Thank you, the world, for not giving us that.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. I think Raquel went off into the land of her life, but I think Kate, we could bring her back just for a second, potentially, to say thank you. Thank you guys for you're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing.
You're all truly amazing. And I am very happy to know you and very happy to I feel like I'm about to send you off to war.
They have offspring. You are sending off to war.
I'd say that fits the tone of my conversation. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, hope that you have not an early morning, which I know that's just not the way it is for any of us. Maybe you, Emily. What time do you get up in the morning?
You're gonna fucking murder me.
Okay, I don't want to hear it.
All right. Do you really want to know? Because I'll tell you.
Only if is it 8?
No, it's no.
It's better than 8?
I usually stay up to about 3 in the morning because that's kind of when I can get shit done. And because we don't have to get Tug up for school, she sleeps in till between 8:30 and 9, and then she gets up, and I've been waking up around 9:30.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm
Really great.
sorry. I should have
Really
said
great.
I've been waking up around 9:30.
I've been doing this outside the frame. Okay, do it
Yeah.
outside the frame. Outside the frame. All right. Well, then you enjoy your nice late morning.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for all tuning in, and thank you guys for being amazing.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.